And if there's any real Rangers players kicking about, I'll be getting their signature for you on it as well. Okay.
Sounds good. Thank you very much.
Enjoy. Right, okay. We've not heard for the threes, actually. We'll start with you, Southside. Go to Stevie. We'll bring the legend in last. We've ripped the bones out.
I'll quickly try and gloss sort of points, right? I thought we set up well. I thought after the ball we were good. So I thought that fact was the good fact here, that we kept our shape, we shut them down, and we made them look ordinary. And we did that for a long time in the game. I think going forward, we didn't test our goalkeeper really at all in the first half, which is poor. But we scored a great goal for a free kick. But it was a set piece that got us back in the game. I think when we had the chances to break on them, and we should have picked the passes better, and we should have been more. We should have been right in about them and scoring. So that was a sad fact for me. The madness of the two goals we gave away. Two boys were playing well. I thought up to then, I thought Ben Davies and Big Suter had played well. I thought for the first time together, and I thought they'd done really well. Unfortunate, it was just two mad moments for the pair of them. I've heard people talk about Alan McGregor should have been out and got it. No, for me. I know he started going, but he's here that he takes a red card, brings them down. He's going to go off, they'll probably score the penalty. So I don't think he made the challenge, but I don't think even a few years younger he gets that. That was just my opinion. But two mad goals we gave away. The game was probably there to win. Biggest sinner for me, Alfredo Morelos. The one chance he had in the second half to bury it, and he fails again miserably. Easy side foot in the far corner. Brian Kent, an ornament for basically the whole game. How he stayed on, I don't know. Michael Beale subs too late in the game. Midfield tired, like as I've all said, after 60 odd minutes. Didn't make the changes. So disappointing. Could have got away with a point if Tav was a wee bit more clinical, which was unlucky. He's a right back. He done well. Summing it up, Mox, just another loss at the end of the day. But I think going forward with the right players, with the right energy and the right skill levels, better than what we've got in that squad, I think we'll be positive going forward for Michael Beale.
Stevie?
I think Southside's covered a lot of it. For me, you can't go to Parkhead and defend like that. And it's really two big mistakes at the back. I mean, Ben Davies, you're taught for a young age, when in doubt, get it out. He tries the first time, he runs, he headers the ball, and he doesn't header it, he headers it back away towards the goal. For me, wow, I'm saying, dearie me. I mean, he's a professional football player, he's got to do better there. The second goal, Big Suter, bad pass, it's a blind pass, isn't it? McGregor's come out, slow, he's running at the ball, a guy half his age, and he's running with him, and he just takes it around him and sinks it in the net. For me, Suter and McGregor were wrong, because if I was McGregor, I'd have dived at his feet, tried to get the ball, and just took him and the ball. I would have tried. I'd have tried something. It just would put him no problem in it. For me, it was both of them, but there's a lot of guys there need to look in the mirror for me. Ryan Jack, Ryan Kent, the game passed them for me. The game absolutely passed them. I'd just like to congratulate Tav. I thought Tav took his 2 goals well. Get his 100th goal. What the stats? Unbelievable. And what can I say about the refereeing? Now, I was on the show last Wednesday, and you gave me a stat about every time that man referees get our match, we've won them. But that doesn't mean he didn't try and influence the game. And once again, we're talking about him again. And Mr. Clancy, you're an absolute cheat, an absolute disgrace. For the games, whether we've won them or no, that man has influenced games, and he's influenced them for Celtic one way or another. He knew exactly what he was doing on Saturday. He knew he blew that whistle for a free kick, and he knew that the rules are, it's not a true, an obvious decision. So he knew what VAR was going to do. Listen, nobody's pulling the wool over my eyes. But again, that's not what beat us. Our defending beat us. It was woeful. Absolute woeful. And know what, the two boys had no a bad game to Ben Davies and Big for the first time playing together. I think Southside touched on that, but dearie me.
Cutting Suter a bit of slack with putting that down to fatigue, lads.
100%. I'm cutting him a bit of slack. I thought he'd done all right. He won his headers. He won a lot of his headers. I thought we played well. I thought we played a lot better. They were there for the taking, but you just can't defend like that. Even for the first goal, the space that wee guy had in the middle there. Come on, man. We can do better than that, surely. But for them playing the first time again, I thought we were all right. And we made them look very ordinary. I thought we were the better team overall, but
I thought it was a remake, but if you take the two shocking moments, but what I will say is we didn't create enough clear-cut chances. Bridgman, give us your thoughts, mate, before we move on.
Well, I just say I want to agree with both of them. It was superb summing up of the game. I thought the game was lost long before it started, to be honest. They were allowed to get away with the political thing and no fans and so on and so forth, this nonsense. And they got away with all that. And the mere fact that they chose Clancy, and I think the two linesmen were, I think they're only six seasons or something in the game, and they're on the biggest game in Scotland. No, for me, the whole setup was just rotten all the way through. I'm not trying to be churlish about it. We played really well. I thought there was a 50-50 game the whole way through. We could have snatched something at the end there with Tavernier. I know that's maybe a bit of hope, but we could have done. But we didn't let them do too much. What we let them do is we gave them the ball, and we missed out. The 3 goals were presents. For me, 3 presents. Thank you very much, and put it in the net. And they're too good a team up front to not to score these goals. Unfortunately, the other end that came to us, we struggled to get it. And if it wasn't for Tab, in all honesty, if it wasn't for Tab, there wouldn't have been a great deal of excitement in it for the Rangers fans. And that's the truth. That's me.
That was a wonderful free kick, Bridget. Wonderful.
Oh my God, yeah. And you know the header was like, how can I say it? It was like, lobbing crash final. It was a great cross for Bournemouth. Oh, absolutely fantastic! Yeah, that was it for us.
Yeah, he was unlucky, his hat-trick. Right, Southside, I'm going to play a wee bit devil's advocate with you. I'm not talking about Saturday. I'm forgetting about who was playing. But is a problem that the Rangers number 9 that we're not creating. I'm forgetting who, Morelos, you, me, Cholak, anybody. As the fact is that we're not making enough chances. There's not enough ammunition being given to the striker. Would anybody score goal?
We've played this sort of style of football. We played it when Beale was the coach, and we had it as Gerrard was manager, where the focal point was the striker comes short. And if you look at it probably early seasons, it did increase our goals because we were getting goals for other positions, as they said, the striker. And I get the fact sometimes it works, but for me, if you've got a goal scorer, you need to get him in the box and you need to get chances played to him to finish. That's what I believe you've got today. And if that's his strength is putting the ball in the net, then why would you not be feeding him the chances? You look at, we've only used a player as an example, right? You look at Big Haaland. How many touches does he have in a game? But he puts the ball into the space for him, he scores. But his assists are pretty low. I know he assisted one the other night. He crossed one for the header. But if you look at him, if you've got a guy that scores goals, I don't care if my striker only touches the ball 5 times. See if he scores 3 of them and we win that game. That's what matters, because you're judged on your goals. You're not judged on about how you set up the play. And to me, it's about putting the ball in the back of the net. It's not what you do. It's not what you do 25 yards out the box box.
Can you get the 5 chances if you're not getting 5 balls played in you?
But we've got to look at a system. The striker, we'll use him, but the striker was at the start with scoring goals, and we weren't playing great. We're playing a horseshoe. We weren't really playing attacking football, but for some reason he was banging them in every week. And we've went for that to come back to come out short, play this ball, play it wide, and then get yourself in the box. It's a bit like Mark Warburton style of football. Because when we got down the line and you went to cross it over, we only had one player in the box. And that's what it was like when he had it in the style that we played. And we played keep the ball with him. He wanted to be possession-based. But for some reason, our strikers, we don't flood the box with 4 and 5 players. We flood it with 1, maybe 2. And that's the problem. We need more players.
A trickle, you mean?
It's there to see, Ox. You've got to have players in the box. If you're only marking, if the defenders are only picking up 1 striker, then that's what they need to look at. You know?
All right. Stevie, all good strikers need ammunition.
Sorry?
All good strikers need ammunition.
Aye, can I just say something on what you were talking about there? See the difference between the two teams is we've got Morelos and they've got Kiego, right? That wee guy. Now, the difference between the two of them is that wee guy is always in the right place at the right time. And when he gets his chance, he takes it. Wales don't. Wales is never in the right place at the right time. And even when he is slim pickings in the right place, he's no deadly enough. And that's the difference. You'll never see that wee guy Kiego beating a player, beating 2 players and doing something wonderful. It's always a tap-in, scrappiness, and he's always in the right place at the right time. Look at his goals against us. He's just in the right place at the right time. And Alf's never in the box to do that in the first place, as he's always out. Me personally, I would honestly get rid of Alf this season, close season, and I'd sign another 2 strikers, and I'd make Big Kolach earn his breed again. I really would. And that would be the 3 strikers. And that's how I would have it. But that's the difference between the two teams. They're deadly, we're no, and they're always in the right place at the right time, and we've never got enough people in the box.
I'll ask you the same question, mate. Does it matter how deadly you are if you don't get any ammunition?
If you don't get ammunition, you're never going to be deadly. It's as plain and simple as that. But how can you say we're not getting ammunition? Look at the boys Burnley's chipping in that box some games. I mean, Burnley in any given game will chip in at least maybe 10 great balls over the 90 minutes.
He put 1 in and Saturday, mate. 1.
Oh, look at the ball for Tab.
It was 4. We players in the box. It wasn't just 1. Because it broke for a corner. Bridgeman, you're a central defender. There's only one focal point in the team of centre. There's nobody coming. We don't get bodies in the box. We midfield. The wide players don't get. It's easy to defend, isn't it? South side.
Aye. It's you've got your. On you go, Bridge.
I was just going to say, you look at the two teams there, and you look at that boy Carter Vickers. Since he's come into Celtic, he's strolled through virtually every game because he knows he reads the game and he creates whatever he creates. Sometimes he gets himself in a fangle, but in reality, he actually strolls through the game. He knows where everybody is, and particularly the one that he wants to take the ball off. And I think that's the way our centre halves should be. And unfortunately, on Saturday they weren't quite like that, but we'll get good players and we'll come on. I'm sure we will.
Can I say something about the centre halves?
Aye.
Everybody knows that Starfelt's a bomb scare, right? How did we not play a high press? I was wanting Kent and I was wanting the wee man on the part at Sakala, along with either Kolach or Morelos. But Morelos is the player who's going to run constantly, chase the keeper and chase the play constantly. But I'll tell you now, see, we done a high press against them, we'd have got changed at them because not only Starfelt's a bomb scare, their big goalie's a bomb scare and all. And how we didn't do that. We started to do it a wee bit in that game and we were getting a wee bit of joy. We were just punting the ball anywhere. But we need to learn from our mistakes. We need to learn. We need to be more. I mean, as Southside touched on, Michael Beale and his tactics, I would have honestly pressed that Celtic defence high up right. And as soon as that keeper rolled that ball out, we should have been all them like a rash. Kent's get pace, Sakala's get pace. The two of them should have been, in my book, running like heedless chickens, closing them down with Morelos staying his butt, or Kolach, if you were going to go down that road. I just think we should be pressuring that defence of theirs, and we don't do it. We let them stroll out the box. We let them play football. As Bridgman says, that boy Vickers, most games he strolls it. I think a lot of them are for his physical presence. I don't see why anybody would fear him. I really don't. And we should be getting hammered right in about him. Hammered right into him. But we don't do it. We're too nice.
You've got to play at tempo, and you've got to keep that tempo up. And Southside, you've got to use your substitutes if you're going to do that, mate.
Aye, see, to be honest, Stevie, at first I thought we pressed them well. I mean, they were punting balls, they were getting annoyed because McGregor and that couldn't go on the ball. I thought it's the first wee while we had them. That's what he did. Leave the big Gloney with the ball, and eventually you seen they were just punting it. The game changed. You know how the game changed? And I seen it. Alfie, for some reason, went chasing down towards the corner flag. And I don't know why he started running, because I was in the house and I'm like, what are you doing? You've got to stay in the middle of the park because you've got to block in that comes across there. And he ran down there, and then the ball get recycled. And see the minute they switched the ball, Alfie wasn't anywhere in the middle of the park. If you watch it back again, he's away down on the right-hand side, the main stand. I'm not saying he'd have cut the ball out going across the middle of the park, but he'd have been there. And that's how they got their goal. They come down the left-hand side, because when they played the ball across the park, we never had a player anywhere in 20-yard space of that ball getting moved. All the players were in the box, and they had a couple of players waiting to receive the ball, because Alfie ran right down that side of the park for some reason, chasing the ball when he didn't have to. And that's what cost us our first goal. I was screaming at the telly, what you doing? We're like, Olney, where's Alfie? You shouldn't even be doing there. And that's why they spread that across the park and they got their goal. Aye, the boy nicked in and cut it back, and it's the usual. Kyogo stands there, and that's what he does. He's a penalty box finisher by the looks of it. And you've got to be on him. And like you say, Ox, if you're talking about changing the game up and stuff like that and using your subs, as you were saying, you had to refresh it. I felt 65 minutes. They'd made some subs, and then you could see a couple of wee passes. They got the ball in the middle of the park, and there was a wee gap between our players. Some were tiring, and I think Michael Beale should have made the subs. And it is alarming to me that he didn't think then that we had to go and make subs. And I know Lundstrom's not the most athletic, right? But we had to get a bit of freshness in there, because Raskin had done his best. And I know he stayed on a lot longer, but in Cantwell. And we had to get something in the midfield area. And then, as you've seen what happened, they got a break on us when they received the ball. He had plenty of space, played it down the line, and then he kicks it up in the air and then makes a bomb scare it. And we go to 2-1 done. But I think at that time, Ox, Bill should have definitely been thinking about making us up.
I've said that the last couple of nights, mate, you know. But interesting. We're in a state of transition. So, last night we talked about the game, and then just around about 10 o'clock as we finished the show, all sorts started to break out. The Ross Wilson story started getting arms and legs, where it was just rumoured before the show, just one of these speculation stories. It looks as if it's potentially a done deal. A lot of people will be happy with that. And also the story broke about Dave King having an offer about his shares, 25 million, somebody came in and tried to build. So Dave King, somebody we know, was near the equator. And maybe Dave King was there, and maybe talking about a deal for 25 million. Is that right, Bridge?
Let me just nip that one in the bud. Nothing to do with me. No, but can I just say, I just flashed up there. I saw a report from the Telegraph saying that the Rangers and Nottingham Forest have agreed terms for Scott Wilson. I don't know how true it is. It's just a report.
Just out of curiosity, Bridge, how did you manage to read that Telegraph in the toilet?
No, I didn't read the Telegraph.
I'd call him Scott Wilson. Who's Scott Wilson?
You know, that's a big paper, a Telegraph, Steve. You don't manage to sit and read that in the toilet, do you?
Can't even afford it. Oh, boy.
Right, what's your views? I mean, obviously, if he's been headhunted by a Premiership club, well, only time will tell, I think. I think, if I'm honest, at our club, it just might be time. It just might be time. if that makes sense. Southside and Stevie.
Aye, it sounds about right just for him to go. We can see that if you look at all the signings and everything, and like you say, we didn't know his full entitlement to his job. He said it's him scouting and whatever else. But aye, it's good to get a bit of freshness. I think we need a bit of freshness. We're going to revamp the squad, so we might as well start with director of football. And if he wants to go to Nottingham Forest, then we'll let him go, I'm sure. And we can go and find somebody else that should be a lot better than him at doing the job, hopefully. I'll fling you a name in later, mate, if you want.
I'm available, mate. I'm available. You know? You know? If the offer's right, I could think about it. No, seriously.
I admire your modesty.
Well done! I'm sorry! I'm sorry, Wilson! Wilson, I'm sorry!
That's brilliant, that. That's just brilliant.
Fox is making goodbye again, isn't he?
Aye, who's doing their medication?
Stevie, is it time? Is it a lot of heat away?
Well, time will tell, won't it? So, look, I think when the fans start putting banners up that they don't want you, you know, I think that would make my mind up for me, you know. And it's not just as if it's a fan. When you looked at the full end that Motherwell did a choice, it was left on their seat, and you either lift it or you don't lift it. And it looked to me to 95% of Rangers fans lifted the wee flyer above their head to say for him to go. So it probably has done the right thing. When you look at on paper, there's been a lot more negatives than there is positives. I'm still not quite sure. I know we were told at the AGMs that it wasn't him that was making the signings, it was the managers. So have we done the right thing? Only time will tell.
But was he not very successful when he was down in Southampton? And I think he was signing all the Celtic players season after season. Not all the Celtic players, but he signed maybe 4 or 5 Celtic players for good money. And they were quite successful with him. So I'm afraid when he came up to Rangers...
Southampton fans might tell you different, mate. He had a big signing that was popular, obviously made a lot of money with the Van Dijk signing, yeah?
Yep.
Can I say?
There was a continuous flow. And each time a big player left Celtic, they all seem to go to Southampton. In fact, one's still there. I can't remember. Armstrong, is it? Armstrong? He's still there. So.
Right, well, we'll see what it takes us for us, and it'll be interesting to see if the position's full. Stevie, you coming in, mate?
I was just going to say, it's going to be hard for us to find a director of football, if that was his role, who successfully brings in player after player. So the Rangers fans, the way we're wanting, as soon as somebody's signed and he's something to do with it, if it's the director of football that's signing him, or it's a conglomerate, a joint venture with the manager or whatever, then I can't get in my head how this director of football is going to bring in success after success after success. But us Rangers fans want, because we are a tough crowd to please. So the next director of football come in, I just hope the next 2 signings after it are going to hit the ground running, because if no, there's got to be placards with his face on it. I just don't know whether we've done the right thing or not. I'm not quite convinced. I know I've seen all the stats, I've seen everything, I've heard all the arguments, the pros and the cons, but if we're going to bring a director of football in, it's going to have to be success after success after success on the park, whatever players are coming in, or the next guy's just going to end up with the same fate. And I don't think that's going to happen. Let's be realistic. If you bring in 10 players, not every one of these 10 players are going to be success a hit. You know what I mean? There's going to be ones where you're saying, well, that was a bit of a miss there. You know, he's no bedded in at all, you know. So we just need to sometimes keep our powder dry and just, the next guy comes in, just give him a chance. Basically, just give him a chance. And Southside, did I hear you saying that you had a name? I would like to hear the name.
What?
I can imagine who that'll be.
Do you?
Aye.
Who do you think that'll be?
Let me guess. He might have sent Dele Alli.
I don't know if he. Don't know if he did or no. Did he play in Scotland?
No.
Well, the one I was going to, the one I've heard did.
That was Super Ali.
I get told on the radar, Davy Weir. He's at Brighton, doing the job, responsible for a few of their players I've brought in, and that's the name I get told. There you go.
Can I ask you a question? Would you like to bring back Davy Weir?
Well, why would you know?
Well, I'm asking you why you would. He was part of the trio that left under a cloud.
Yeah, okay. All right. And then are we going to get Fanny Craddock to do the catering?
Fanny Craddock.
Well, if Mr. Robertson leaves, right, which could happen, I think could happen, then I think you wait and see, and you might see Leanne Dempster move in there.
All right. No, the conspiracy theories are flying. They're right, Big Stevie. Somebody's doing their medication, somebody's an extra medication, Stevie.
I'm led to believe that Mrs. Dempster's a right good blue nose, so
correct.
I'm led to believe so. But she worked at Hibs there for a brave while, but they eventually got shot there. Why did they get rid of her?
She left. She had a season ticket at Ibrox, Stevie.
Aye, well, just listen, I know the kind of background.
If you two had a shot at the raffle for the motorhome.
I was waiting for the one for the Lamborghini, if I'm honest.
The one in the motorhome. We're only trying to raise 600 grand, Stevie.
When's the commode getting raffled? I'll take the commode.
Right, we better get these phone lines open. And then we'll go back to Big Stow Size's conspiracy theories, right?
Yes, give us that.
All right, let's hear from you.
Why don't you give us a call on 0141 356 1972? It's your show, it's your platform. Let's hear from you.
Right, run us by all these moves again, all these little moves you've got. Right?
Well, so Ross Wilson out, maybe Davy Weir in, and Stuart Robertson out, and Leanne Dempster in.
All right, okay. Well, change is imminent. Stevie.
Nobody's getting his info. I really don't know where he gets his info, but I know he's got friends in low places. I know that, but my God,
Fox wanted them after the show to report to HR to get tested.
Do you know what it is? He didn't hear it, and that's what's wrong with him. He's got a petted lip. Look, Stevie.
Listen, aye. But listen, Stevie Boy's in the members' lounge on Saturday. I'll be back Monday telling you everything. Don't you worry about that. I'll find out all these rumours. Don't you worry. They don't call me Isa for nothing, you know. But listen, I don't even know who I would like as a director of football.
Do we need one?
Well, that's the thing, isn't it? Do we need one? We've been down that road. Do we need to get down it again? It's a wage we don't need to have, isn't it?
Well, it depends on what influence the manager in the selection of players and talking to players. If he's selecting them and going and talking to them, why do you need a director of football, Stevie?
Well, see who was the boy got interviewed again? It was a great wee interview. He stuck a few quid in and that. Oh man, his name escapes me.
Stuart Gibson.
Stuart, yeah. Well, he was saying that he's keeping his eye open on all the J League and all the other Asian leagues because obviously he lives that way and he's a big kiddie out that direction, And why do we know how? I mean, we've got people all over the world to say, by the way, I'm in Australia, I'm here, I'm there. There's a few good players here, and relate back through Rangers. Do we really need a director of football? That's quite a good one, Ox. Do we?
I mean, I'm not saying I or not. I'm just saying daily, and I just we should know what the guy does day to day. Southside, it's hard to comment on it.
I think the size of the organisation you look at, because now we've got a women's team and we've got the academy and that, and I suppose you've got to be responsible for some of it. The manager's probably got enough pressure on him. We probably think the manager does the signings. Used to be the manager would have a few scouts, or he'd go out and look himself and watch a few players and then think, and then meet them and then we would sign them. Now you're relying on your scouts going out and doing it, and you might go and have a look at the player, but I think if you've got a director of football and he's got a remit, and his remit's the same as Bill's gave him a remit, and he had the normal players that would be wanting, and I think if it falls into what the manager wants, then I think if he can work together and you have success in getting these type of players that you are wanting, either A or B player at the time, and it's working, it's fine. It's when you make a lot of signings and they're not working.
Let's go back. Let's rewind a wee bit. Right. You see the manager's under a lot of pressure, right? Right. What's the manager's role then? Pick the team, organise the training with his staff. There'll be more staff now than ever.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Some of them don't even touch the training, if you're being honest, yeah?
Right. You might have to deal with players in the afternoon with something, right? But I think that's what you should concentrate on. But you're asking me to go and deal with what's happening with the women's team, go and deal with what's happening with the B team, contracts, money, wages.
So do you need a club secretary rather than?
Well, I think they passed the board. Somebody like the board would have done that, wouldn't it? It wasn't always the manager that done it. It'd probably be a chairman or something like that. It would have went in would have done it back in the past, wouldn't it? Or David Murray, think about it. You went in, you seen him, he gave you the contract, and that was it done, wasn't it?
Aye.
Didn't have a director of football.
Aye.
But is it not a very important role in today's game, the director of football?
What is it? Or is your centre forward important, Bridge?
Well, I'm not talking about where the money goes. I'm just meaning it as a build-up for a team and for a club. Most good clubs have got a director of football of some sorts. Maybe under a different name, but they've got a somewhere in there who does whatever work's needing done with a team. Does it?
A chief scout, whatever. You need to know. I just need to know what the guy does day to day. It's that. I get Southside's point. I'm trying to play devil's advocate a bit. Somebody says, what about Stevie G for that?
Actually, that's pretty good. Not a bad move.
Let's be honest, we miss a guy.
I do.
Aye. Oxter.
Yes, mate. Wait a minute, mate. I'll cut across here. I'll come right back to you on that top. I've enjoyed the Alistair. Evening, Alistair.
How you getting on, boys? How are you?
Good to hear. What's on your mind?
I've just got a couple of wee points. First about the director. I totally agree with the guy was saying there. I think Rangers could actually go on without a director. Surely somebody in-house has learnt through the years. Okay, I mean, there's bound to be an apprentice in there somewhere that can do the job. Like there was talk on the Rangers websites and Facebook that Lee McCulloch or something, they were trying to talk about try to get Lee McCulloch to come in and do something. I don't know if anybody heard that. Did you read that at all?
I think it was a car park attendant.
No, honestly, it was Lee McCulloch and Stephen Naismith or something.
he's just been him, and I don't know if he's been released with Hearts. You know, obviously, I don't know if he's part of the management team that's still there. But
I don't think we need him.
No, I mean, I don't think there's. Well, unless the manager wants him, mate. But remember, that you're talking about rumours on Facebook. You hear the rumours.
True.
Outside, you know.
And my other point was, Old Firm game, mate. I think Beale screwed us over again, selection-wise. Why Sakala didn't start? Okay, I mean, Sakala is Rangers' most informed player against Celtic in the last 5 games has been Sakala, and I think by putting Sakala on the bench, I think it gave Celtic an advantage somehow. But they were talking about, they couldn't play this player; they had to play Sakala. I think Sakala should have been starting no matter what, because he gives us that out ball that we were looking for. Okay, I mean, he can play the ball at the top. We couldn't do that. But he runs offside a lot of times too. I mean, so.
Stevie?
I agree with the caller, because I mentioned them that I wanted to do the high press because they're big, Starfelt, and their keeper is a bomb scare. And I think if you played Sakala instead of Tillman, you would have had a lot more pace up front. You could have shut them down. I know we did do it in spells in the game, and Southside touched on that. We did do it in spells in the game, but we could have kept it going and really forced them. There was one time we had them on the ropes at the start of that second half, and we would have really, with Sakala, I know he's not the... You see the best and the worst of Sakala in the one game, you know, he'll run into players for no reason, and then he'll trap a... Aye, just offside stuff like that. But listen, I would have started Bale for legs and the high press, but Bale didn't do it. He went for Tillman, who, let's be honest, he is on form. Tillman is on form.
What is the deal with him? Do you think the game's just too fast for him? Sorry for butting in. Do you think he's been caught out? He was running back at times while he wasn't even getting back behind the Celtic line. I just thought when you seen that, it looked kind of. It was a kind of, what are you doing, man? Get back, I mean, put the shift in, I mean.
Can I answer that as well? I think Tillman's a fantastic footballer. He's got a cracking football brain, but he needs to learn the dirty side of the game.
No, I just don't think as a player that Rangers can need. There's other players that can do that. They score goals in games against weird teams. I mean, I don't think he's worth the $5 million. I think he's a good with it. It's a tough one. I mean, it is a tough one. But if they can maybe get him, pine it up, obviously they will do that. But I just don't think. I think we've got better players than Tillman.
Can you tell me one? And that does that role? Who at Rangers have we got that does that role that he plays?
What, Tillman's role?
Yeah.
I think you can move Cantwell into that role, and I think Cantwell will give you that. I was surprised that Cantwell in the Rangers game, he was brilliant.
Scored as many goals as Tillman does.
I think he was moved into position, possibly. But you could say you'd folk out to say no. But listen, if he's any player that plays the Rangers are put in the position that Tillman's in, surely Mason will score.
If Tillman, what's Tillman scored? 10 goals this season so far, maybe more.
I think it's never that Bridge. I'll check it exactly.
But 13, is it no 13 is on?
Well, is that kind of player no worth? Is that no worth?
But look who he's scoring against. Look who he's scoring against, though.
It doesn't really matter enough. I know he's not doing it against the Celtic, but no very few people in our team have done it against Celtic. So all I can say is
next year Europe, can you take the gamble with him?
Yeah, he's growing all the time. The lad's growing all the time.
Can I say something about Tillman? Tillman will get more time in the ball in Europe, so I definitely see him a better player for us in Europe. For me, he's just lacking a bit of pace.
He's lacking a bit of kick up the arse sometimes. Do you know what I mean? That's what I think. Lazy. Like when you see the team, when you seen the teams that came in, like so when Celtic were kicking about the field, he was still about 20 years behind the defenders. I don't know if it's something that he does, but a lot of folk have said, Ken, he turns it on and he can turn it. He can turn it on when he wants, but you just want that more often.
He wasn't great on Saturday, but he wasn't the worst. The south side didn't he come, mate?
See, I thought he was the worst player for Rangers.
Who did you think was the worst, mate?
Against Rangers, I didn't think. Against Celtic, sorry, I thought he was the worst player.
See if Tillman came out of our academy, right? 6'2", great balance.
He'd be awesome.
Great vision. Scores goals, can assist, right? We'd be screaming if somebody came in for him and he'd done what he'd done in his first season in football, mate. He learned it. Bayern Munich. He never played any first team games. You know, we flung him into the Champions League and he was like starstruck probably at the time. No, he's playing in the Champions League. We flung him right in there as we did with the other young boys because we had to Leon King in it. But that boy is well worth £5 million and he will grow and he will get better. You think when Joe Aribo first came to Rangers, he went on against them and get hooked half, he get dropped, he didn't play. It took him probably a bit later to start getting into the game. We're building a new squad next year, and only if I think the boy wants to come back here. I believe we have first option. I believe it's the first option, and the same as Bayern Munich, the first option to buy him off us should he sign for us. But it'll be down to the boy to decide whether he wants to come in.
Loan?
No, it'll be buy or say goodbye, mate. That's the deal. But at the end of the day, I hope he signs, and I think that boy will get a lot better. And I think it's just about time. I never showed really up against him, but he will. Well, you do sometimes, mate. You have to try and look at what you've got, and he's young.
Southside, Alistair, don't talk when somebody else is talking. It doesn't work, mate.
All right, okay.
I just think we stick with him, mate. You're saying it's all right scoring in Scotland, it is. But that's his job now because that's the league we play in. If you look at the goal he scored against Hearts at Tynecastle, when the wall get flipped in, he flicks his foot up and bangers it in. He's got ability, he's got he's got good vision, and he will be a good player. And I hope he'll develop it even better, mate, going forward.
Yeah, I hope so. I really hope so. Do you think we'll have Morelos this season?
Question for you, Alistair, before you go, mate. Did you think that Kent and Ryan Jack, who I don't dislike, mate, were better than Tillman on Saturday?
I thought Ryan Jack played a bit. I think Ryan Jack was actually really good. I think Ryan Jack over his last 4 or 5 games, I think Jack deserves a contract. But Ryan Kent, I just think Ryan Kent's just playing his days and counting his money. I really do. That wasn't a Kent that was playing. I mean, that's a Kent that's paid somewhere else. You could tell. He's just counting his pennies and he's away. I mean, which is a shame because if Rangers had only thinking in mind, they might have got him another year's contract or something, persuaded him and said, look, sign a year's contract, but we'll let you go. I mean, try and make some money off him.
Why would you do that if you were a player when you're going to go on a transfer for yourself, mate? Why would you do that if you were a player and your agent's representing you and you're going to go on the transfer for yourself?
I don't.
That's modern football, I'm afraid.
What, you think he should be playing better because all these teams are looking at him?
No, I just think that the agents will tell you you don't sign and you keep your options open, and then if you do move on, you get the transfer fee.
Well, I think what's going to happen, mate, is I think Kent's next move, his next contract, is going to be his last. Kent's in a very thingy place because he's in a good place at Rangers, right? He really is. He's got a good thing going. I mean, when he plays well, but he got another team and it didn't work out. He's going to fucking look back. Jesus, should have stayed at Rangers. Folk don't realise. Same with them across the folk don't realise how good they've got it at Rangers and Celtic. Ken, Europe every year guaranteed. Well, nearly guaranteed. I mean, the wage is no gate, but who does want to play in front of 15,000, 60,000 folk? Tell me.
Ryan Kent, mate, weeks, mate.
So, can I ask a question? Can I ask you a
There you
question?
go, Bridge. But Bridge, you're really quiet, mate. We can hardly hear you.
Oh,
You're
I do
really
apologise. I can't adjust to anyone because I blow your brains out. So I can't understand what's the problem with Ryan Kent. And I'm a huge fan of his, but for goodness sake, his performance against them last weekend wasn't good enough. In anybody's language, that wasn't good enough. It was like a tenth of the player he was. He got every now and again he ran for 50 yards to get the ball and did something, but no, there's no trickery about him left. That young lad had him in his pocket, and I don't think that's right. There's something not right with Kent. I don't know whether it's a personal
maybe
thing.
ran his race, Southside. Bridgman, maybe ran his race.
Could be.
Southside, the two rounds on Saturday. Totally was showed us above him. He wasn't great, was he?
No, I mean, you've got to look at we want to make this squad better. And I'm telling you, Alfie, no. And Ryan Kent, no. And Ryan Jack, no. We need to evolve this squad. We need fresh players with energy and desire and get a new team under Michael Beale and get us back to winning. This squad doesn't win. Doesn't win enough. Doesn't win when it's you've got to be standing up and be counted. And on Saturday, Ryan Kent was an ornament on that park. Disgraceful performance. Same as a disgraceful performance at Hampden. And people come on this show and say, oh, Ryan Kent turns up against Celtic. Does he?
No, true.
Does he? He turns up now and again. Ryan, go back 10, 12 games. Tell me how many good games Ryan Kent's had in a Rangers jersey. It's time, it's time we dropped him and put somebody else in. Whether you play Sakala wide left or whatever. Aye, I was there that night, mate. It was a great game against Borussia Dortmund, but that was last year. It's what he's doing now. You can't sit and pass glories. You can't sit and pass glories, Alistair, what you done last year.
They said, let me come in, Alistair, it doesn't work. And I had to, don't talk when
Sorry.
other people. Right, well, sorry, Southside.
No, sorry. That's what I'm saying. We're not talking about what they used to do and what Alfie used to do. Alfie was a good player 2 years ago, mate.
Run the race, mate. Run the race.
It's time to freshen this squad. And if no, Michael Beale will be out a job and that'll be the start of it. It's his job and his career. He came up here to be successful and he'll not be successful with half of that squad. He'll go forward with good players and we'll get rid of Golston and Tavernier on the way and all. They'll not see 4 years, in my opinion, at Rangers. But it will be refreshed. It will need to be because we need to get back to winning.
Anyway,
That's a quick question.
John B. Dave. Evening, Dave.
All right, Bez. How you doing?
All right, Dave. Good to hear from you, mate. Cheer us up.
Right. I was up there. I've been up the road through the 3 games and I've watched Ryan Kent and the expression on his face. I do not think he wants to be at Rangers.
Well, he's never been a cheery fella, has he, Stevie?
No. Dave, you know Big Mark McPhee, going to tell him he owes me a score, going to get it off him for me if you're up quite often.
I'll try and do that for you, mate. I'll try and do that for you.
All right. Listen, me on Ryan Kent, I was one of the guys that wanted to keep him right. I'm going to tell you something right now. I'm in a Southside camp now. I've watched them and I thought, right, we're bringing a couple of new players in the midfield. Maybe it'll help them.
Did you say Southside is
Sorry?
Did you say that? It's camp.
I couldn't hear you. You were breaking up.
Did you
That's what I thought.
this camp now?
I says, I'm in Southside's camp.
Oh, sorry, I misheard you. Carry on.
Camp now. Right, anyway. So, no, I'm the Southside. You're a bad man. I'm the Southside. Get rid of Kent, get rid of Morelos, and let him see guys like Ryan Jack. I'm sorry, man. That was woeful on Saturday. He's a Scottish boy that knows what this is all about. I know he's for Aberdeen, but he's a Scottish boy that knows the rivalry, Rangers and Celtic. And people talk about him being he's the captain. He's the captain. He could be a future captain for Rangers. Back a few years back, whatever. No chance. Absolutely no chance.
Who plays his position then?
What?
Who plays his position then on Saturday? If it's not him, who do you put in there?
well, there's only one other guy you could put in there was Big Lundstrom. But all I'm saying is, I'm not saying you should have been in the pool. The team? All I'm saying is, he had a woeful game on Saturday. He was rotten. How would you know? Do you think he's good?
I thought Celtic were there for attacking. I really do.
The game passed them by, mate. Him and Kent were non-existent. Absolutely non-existent. The two of them, the two Ryans were rotten, man. And you can't defend them. I don't think any of the two of them turned up. I think Southside was been nice when they called Ryan Kent an ornament. It was a waste of a jersey, Ryan Kent, and Ryan Jack was woeful, mate. It was absolutely woeful.
I would have started the two of them, but in Saturday's performance, the two of them were awful. You've got to be honest. You've got to be honest, Bridget.
100%. Yep, 100%. And I, as I said, I'm a big fan. Both Ryan Jack and Ryan Kent, big fan of theirs. And Alfie, my goodness gracious, how grateful I am to that guy scoring a lot of goals. But my God Almighty, there was easily three people, maybe more. You could have watched that game and says they didn't do very well. And I heard people saying that Suter did no bad. I thought Suter was dreadful on Saturday, absolutely dreadful. He just there was no more bigger mistakes. Let's put it that way. We saw the biggest mistake he made, his blind pass, and I thought his passing was dreadful. I just didn't think of him. I didn't think he was good enough for Rangers, to be honest.
Rajman, do you know how he's no match fit, right? He's only played a few games. He get flung on the deep end with Ben Davis. Big goal. Apart from his mistake, but I thought the boy done no too bad. I really do. I'm going to say that, but I'm going to stick up with the boy that way. Everybody sees a game different, but I just think for the fact that A, he's not played a lot of games, and B, it's the first time he's been partnered up with Ben Davis, and let's be honest, the pressure, it was a big game, and the pressure it must have been on him again there. I thought the boy done no too bad, apart from the ball that.
Just quickly, Bridgeman, if he hadn't made that wicket, Bridge, what would you have thought his performance?
I don't think he even played very well because it had nothing to do. I don't think our defence were ruffled at all, other than those goals.
In the second half, they kept coming and winning their headers and moving us up.
Yes.
10 minutes. Anyway, get yourself in mute. We're going to have a tune.
They say this day the time of stand. So build my gallows, build them high, that I might see before I die the antrim land and the hills of County Down, and I'll see again the lights of home. I am a loyal Ulsterman. They say this day that I must stand. Well, I fought that evil band, and I freed my native land. They say this day that I must stand. So build my gallows, build them high, that I might see before I die the antrim glen, the hills of County Down, and I'll see again the lights of home. The antrim glens, the hills of County Down, and I'll see again the lights of home.
Why don't you give us a call on 0141 356 1972. It's your show, it's your platform. Let's hear from you.
Well back, gentlemen.
Aye. Can I say something?
Aye.
I thought Bridgman was a wee bit harsh on Suter, right? I think if Suter and Davis don't make the two mistakes, Davis is the worst out of the two, to be honest. I can cut a bit of slack to Big Suter. I mean, he's trained since January, but he's not got any match fitness in him, and it was just a slight error in the pass back. And I think if they two hadn't made the blunders, for me the biggest blunder in the game was Alfredo Morelos. If you look at the goals that were scored, their goal, he had to work to spin, to shoot, to get the goal, and then the one when Davis makes a blunder, and also the back pass. The easiest chance in the game fell to Alfredo Morelos, and again he missed. You know, that was the clearest chance in the whole game. And goals change games, and at that point, that might have been the game changer for us. And again, our centre forward that everybody wants to keep playing week in, week out, failed, and that's just the point. And I'm sick of it. So, and I said I didn't want him in the team, and I didn't want Kent in the team on Saturday. So,
to be fair, you've been saying that for a while, mate.
Aye, and I also said Kent should have been took out a while ago and all, but I'm not happy I'm proved right, because I want Rangers to win and I want him to turn up and play in the game. And he got a goal chopped off that we all know should have stood, but that's his only contribution in that game. I'm not interested in him harrying the team and bullying defenders. I want the ball in the net, and at that moment in that game, he missed the big chance to make us go 2-1 in that game. And about 5 or 10 minutes later, they went up the park and got the blunder that we gave them. But he had the best chance in that game on Saturday and couldn't put the ball in the net.
I have to agree with you, Southside, on that about Alfie. I've been one of his biggest fans, and I tell you now, he can go anytime for me. Really and truly, they had absolutely nothing, no input to the game, apart from a few wee squabbles here and there. No input to the game, and I thought his goal was. I thought it was a sin about the goal getting chalked off. To me, it was a definite goal. But them's the chances, and there's what happens. And as far as I'm concerned, Alfie was like Kent, non-starter, absolute non-starter for us.
You back with us, Dave? The lecture karaoke.
Yes,
there.
I am. Yeah, right.
The lecture karaoke.
I love it. Cheer you up. You need cheering up anyway.
Oh, we all
need cheering up.
Right.
Oh,
Yes, mate.
can I give a big shout out to one of our own, Emma Watson, who played for Scotland last night?
No.
They beat Costa Rica 4-0. She got women of the game. She scored 2 goals and she got woman of the game. So,
Yeah.
well done to Emma Watson.
Young lassie. Rumoured that she's moving to Man United and stuff on it.
Aye.
Aye.
Well done to her anyway. 2 goals last night.
Yeah. Congratulations. I think it was a debut, to be honest. Right, Dave, what else is on your mind, mate?
Right, guys, do you think, right, I know we played not too bad on Saturday, but we could have played a bit better with the defence and all that. Do you think, guys, we're going to win this semi-final?
Yes. Southside. Well, always think that.
Yep, always, mate, always.
Good.
Stevie?
100%.
Bridgman?
Tenerife, man.
He's a wee bit, to be fair.
No, 100% yes. 100% yes.
He'd be a wee counting his money.
What was that?
Checking the size of the projector screen.
I have to admit, it was a pleasure to get back into the house last night and put the telly on. My big telly was just magic, just magic.
By the toilet.
I've got to say, there are a lot of houses and decent sized tellies, but never a 120-inch outside. Never. Apart from Bridges.
Yeah, it's not actually the glasses he gave you with it and all the 3D effect things he's got, whatever it is he's got, man. There's madness in it.
It was the chairs that done me. Chairs.
See, when it's open plan, it's the open plan bit. You can sit right back in that big recliner and look right down there, you know.
What a pair of
It's good.
Some gas Stevie in it.
So I'll tell you right now, I walked in the road and one of my tattoos disappeared. Laser. Unbelievable. What's a telly?
Shockers.
It's not that's the entry up to the house and all. Most people's just got a doorbell ring, you know what I mean? You want to see what he's got outside the gates. And CCTV right enough.
What that's gonna be up with the charges to get his house, you know what
I mean? Super.
Anyway, we'll be joined by AK. Evening, AK.
Good evening, Oxshire. Southside, Big Stevie, Bridgeman. Welcome back, Bridge.
Hey, you doing, Kelso? Everything all right? Thank you for the welcome.
No problem. Good to hear from you again. Got my black armband on tonight. Sorry to hear about Mr. Wilson. Not. I just hope it's true. Please tell me it's true. He's away. And I hope he takes Stuart Robertson with him.
Oh, was that meant to be a joke? Black
No. Just in case any Nottingham Forest fans are listening in, Wilson done a brilliant job for us. But please take him anyway. But get back to the game briefly. I know you just spoke about it and that, but I just think we've got a mentality problem with our team. I know we get cheated with the goal. Morelos is a perfectly good goal, but you know what? I remember a few years ago, David Robertson scored a perfectly good goal at Ibrox, but the mentality of the team is to brush it down and we'll beat them regardless. This team doesn't have that in them, for me. That was always going on their mind because that was all that the manager and the captain spoke about first thing after the game. You just go on with these things. Don't expect nothing after officials because they're not going to give nothing to you. And with 60,000 people pressuring them to give nothing, I wouldn't have expected nothing there, you know. But it should be giving us motivation to go up there and beat them anyway. And at the end of the day, it was 2 mistakes off of us that gifted them a win. It wasn't just that one goal that cost us a victory. And we needed a victory. And we weren't good enough on the day. And that was against a poor Celtic team. I thought they were dreadful. And I didn't think we played that much better. We huffed and puffed. We certainly didn't wilt. according to some sources, thought we would have, which was a positive, I suppose. But I don't take much positives out of a defeat, even though we were cheated. But you use that motivation to go in there and stick one in the back of the net. Southside says there, Alfie should have scored at least one, maybe two. But I've got to say, the one credit I can give you to it is that's as good a performance as I've seen your captain standing up to it and showing, his ability, his endeavour to go up there and, score. Brilliant free kick. And on the end of that, fantastic ball across to put it away. But that's your right back, guys. That's what our strikers should be doing in our forward line. And we don't score enough goals. We lose cheap goals. And that's why we're not competing in the league this year.
All right, thanks for that, mate. Have you enough of them today, Southside? You want to get rid of them?
No, but Alex, I think, see what you're saying. See, if you look at the two league games, you take away the cup game, right? See, if you look at the two league performances since he's come in and having to work with this squad, right? Let's not be kidded. You can see apart from 5 minutes at Ibrox, he would have had the applause. He would have got the plaudits, right? And up to then, I still think he picked the wrong team because I didn't want to in my team, right? But he picked the team and it was going all right. And I thought we showed a bit of heart to get back in the game. We could have folded. We didn't. So I think when we get a better squad in, players that he wants, and it'll be quicker, faster, and we've got a style he wants to play, I think we should be fine. But I know what you're saying. We've come back with defeat, so the mentality is that we've been beat again. Aye. But I think you've got to say he's done a good bit with this squad, regardless of the state they were in before he took them out. Because let's be honest, it's a sore one to take again up there. Of course it is. But we'll have to try and rectify it in 2 or 3 weeks' time coming up. So I've got the chance to rectify it, Alex, and I'm hoping on the day by day. I'm sure we can. They're no world beaters,
Oh, no, of course.
We flung it away with errors, and that's the way I see it.
Stevie?
Alex, no, you're happy about the wee man's going away to Nottingham Forest. Would you like anybody to replace him? Do we need a director of football?
For me, no. And I've said it on here before. Bill Struth didn't need one. Waddle didn't need one. Wallace, Souness, Smith. They all worked with no director of football. The manager needs to pick his own players. Get a lawyer in to draw up contracts. Why do we need a guy that's dictating to our manager? I think that's why Gerrard left. And I think that's why Gio left. Because they weren't getting the choice of their own players.
And if there's any Nottingham Forest fans listening, they could take Alex. He's a great Rangers fan. He never goes.
I was going to be nice to you, Dave.
You're not being fair. That's totally paying out of order. He's been twice this season and somebody's gave him
Somebody gave him a ticket.
I'm about the same as you, Oxter.
Listen, than that, mate. And I give my tickets away, mate. Yeah.
Aye, good for you.
I'm only having a wee laugh there. Don't you two start getting personal. Listen, I hope you're right about Mr. Robertson, by the way. I hope if the wee man's gone, I hope he follows him. I really do. He made a few blunders for me with the Black Lives Matter thing about the kneeling, and then the City Cup and some of the other things that he said, some of our traditions and things like that. And there's a wee mixture of things, and I just hope that's my hope. I mean, I can't take to the guy at all, and that's just how I feel on that. But listen, I think you're right with regard to the team. It's all about the mind. It's a mindset we've got, and I think that you've got to listen to a bit of sense in it. And it's Southside's telling everybody, and I hope all the listeners will listen. Give this man Beale a chance to do his bit. He will bring in better players at the close season, and half of these ones that have got the mindset away. So let's just get better. Since he's picked the baton up off of Gio, he's done all right with the team. The two league games against Celtic that he's had, my God, man, so near but so far. We get it. but you can see the progress. Come on. We can see that there is going to be a bit more progress, especially when we're signing new and better players. And I believe there's a good bit of investment there for him if he needs it. So just let's see what it brings. It's all about the Scottish Cup for me this season, even before that league game there. We were looking for somebody else to do us a favour. Do they really look as if they're going to drop points to anybody else apart with us? No chance. So for me,
Pressure does strange things, mate. For 18 months, well, nearly 18 months, mate, you let them play without pressure, you know.
anyway.
Pressure afterwards with the points we're drafting. You know, if we'd have won, I know it's if, buts and maybes, and you're saying, well, we'll be saying, well, that's it down to 3 points, eh, because we're going to beat them at Ibrox. And pressure does strange things in sport. Yeah.
Absolutely, mate. Absolutely. I only go, Bridge. I was going to actually.
I'm just going to say this. Just wait till you hear your name. It's no difficult, right? AK.
All right. I will. I think. Listen, I'm not blaming Bill. I hope it's not coming across that way. If it is, I'm not meant to come across the way, because it's the players that I'm digging at, because they're getting into these games with a mental scarring of previous games there, and that's what's letting them down. The mentality in the team isn't good, and we've not got enough winners to go to difficult places like this and get a result, you know. But unfortunately, that's what happens when you keep on too many people in the team, when we should have offloaded them after maybe 3-4 years. We've still got guys that's 6, 7, 8 years into their term at the club that we've got. But I was also going to say to Brisbane, just briefly, I heard them on about Ross Wilson doing a good job at Southampton. Stuart Robertson headhunted Ross Wilson for Southampton when Southampton had 60 million players worth of his players out on loan who they didn't consider good enough to improve their first team. So Southampton supporters were ecstatic about him leaving their club, and we ended up with him, and we, you know, entrusted them to develop our squad. They come in with the player trading model. That didn't materialise. He's gave massive contracts for ageing players. Unfortunately, a lot of them have injury prone as well. He's cost the club millions that we couldn't afford, and it set us back, unfortunately. So we're looking at, it's not a squad revamp anymore. It's what Michael Beale said. It's a rebuild.
Giovanni and Stevie G liars, mate.
I don't think they're telling the truth. I think they've been gagged.
You're calling them liars? Right.
Yes, I'm calling them liars because they're no longer out of their club now. I think that they're told to say that to protect Mr. Wilson. And Mr. Wilson done an awful job for our club's recruitment. And it's there, it's obvious.
You have to be careful what you wish for, mate, because every player he signs a gamble. Doesn't matter who they are, mate.
So is the managers. And he's been responsible for the last 2.
Is he?
Maybe he'll take Matonzo to Nottingham Forest then.
I hope so.
Is it his remit? So you know what his remit is, you know what he does day to day, do you?
Well, that's what he said in his remit. His remit was responsible for the players, the contracts and the managers. So he's been out there and he interviewed Michael Beale and whoever else was in for the job. So he was responsible for, and look how that showed. Look how that's turned out. So
Michael Beale's the wrong guy then?
Well, he's not exactly, endearing himself to the supporter now either, is he? He's at the 1 cup final, lost that, and we're further behind in the league. But again, that's down to the players too. It's not just him. But he's making a lot of wrong decisions as well, Michael Beale, so he's no certainly bulletproof on this either.
Everybody does. Every manager makes decisions. If we'd have been doing this show during 9 in a row, you'd have been criticising Walter for some of the performances and decisions he made.
Still won trophies though, Oxford, and that's what it's all about.
Can I come back in?
Yeah, on you go, Bridge.
If you don't mind. What I was going to ask everybody I'm watching that game, and I watched it 3 times now, the big game against them. And I thought, I haven't seen any player that should have been booked as many times as that boy McGregor.
He should be sent off, Rich.
He should have been booked 5 different occasions. He should have been booked. He only got booked once. And he should have been sent out. He could have easily had a straight red card for one of the challenges. And it's just disgraceful. That's what's happening in Scottish football. Just disgraceful. And it's there in front of the cameras and everybody can see it. Nothing happens. Anyway, that was what I was going to say. That was to support Alex Kiley, but everything he said about me, I don't want to support him anymore.
Southside, players come and go, managers come and go. Mistakes have been made, but mistakes will always be made, mate. Yeah.
Aye, listen, when you're successful and you make signings, nobody's worried. You know, if a player plays much or he doesn't play much, because if your squad's winning and or one goes out injured, it's not a big deal sometimes, or 2 or 3 get injured. As long as you're winning, picking up trophies, when they come back, then they get remembered again. And players, they come, players go, same as now. Hopefully our director of football go. And if that's the case, then that's it. But when it comes to players, it's like everyone in this squad that's coming up. There's a lot of them it's time to go. Probably, as you say, the Europa League final, a lot of them peaked. They peaked at 55 and then they peaked at Europa League final. And don't get us wrong, must have been a massive thing for all the players. They were back training about 6 weeks later. And they had to get into a mindset. I mean, couldn't refresh the squad. And when we did refresh the squad, a lot of them can't play. We've still got £8 million that Ross Wilson spent, and it's no playing in the first team. Matondo and Yilmaz. You know?
Tom Lawrence.
But Tom Lawrence, unfortunately, was an injury.
So was Yilmaz, didn't he?
Aye, but we'd started to... I know, well, I suppose I went away, but Lawrence had started to... You could see that we had a player there. He's got the ability and stuff. He'll shoot outside the box, same as when Hadji was fit. And Hadji was another player that would shoot outside the box. We keep saying we don't have players, but we actually do. They're just no fit. They too would shoot outside the box. Hadji's proved it. So did Tom Lawrence. He's wee shimmying that, the way he beat them at PSV and hit the bar, and he came in late. He did it at Hibs and that. So you could see he's got something about him. And he would have goals and assists in him. It's just unfortunate that he's out injured.
Plus, he also had a bit of dig in him, eh? He's got a bit of dig about him.
Aye, he had that, aye. Certainly would put that in for you. He put a shift in. He looked like he'd run and work for the team. I'm just hoping that next season, and he's back fully fit, he'll be a right good addition to our team. And I think that's why Ryan Kent doesn't matter. Think about it, if we keep Ryan Kent, and you need to find a position for him. And if he's no good out wide left and he's no good in the middle, and he's going to cost you £6 million and a signing on fee, probably about £1 million, and cost you a best package of £7 million at Glasgow Rangers, we're pinning that one of Ryan Kent. No, we need to go and get...
Numbers only good enough.
No, but there's not just that, Ox. You need impact in games. You need to be a big game player. You need to turn up. You need to show that you're on your form more or less week in, week out, and that doesn't happen. And at that price tag, no, we need to go and get other players to fill their positions, and hopefully Michael Beale's the man that's worked that out.
There's not enough goals in our team. You know, I mean, the stats will say we score enough goals, but you know that. Let's be honest, we scored 4 against Motherwell. The way Scottish football is at the moment, it's no the greatest away result in the world anymore, is it?
No, you're right, pal. I mean, you can't get away from the fact. You scratch the surface underneath us and you look at third place Hearts, or I think there's Aberdeen now, they're about 40 odd points behind. It's not even competitive underneath many more. You know, so you should be tucking away 4, 5, 6 goals. The Celtic have done all season, the last 2 seasons. Look at their front line. I think Kyogo scored about 27 goals. I think Jota's maybe run about the kind of in deep teens and Maeda, and they've got goals all over their team. I think they're about 20 odd goals behind them. So we've got a bad concoction there. We're letting in too many soft goals, even the one at Fir Park. There recently, where Tavernier headers it up into there, and 2 or 3 defenders just aren't dealing with it. I mean, Davis should be putting that out the park there the other day, and he didn't. He let it roll off Jota, and they got a goal at it. Souters doing a blind pass. Jesus, you'd have thought he'd have learned off of Morelos, didn't the same at Ibrox. That's us gifted them 2 goals at Ibrox and 2 goals on Saturday there, and they didn't have to do nothing to create them themselves. So we're shooting ourselves in the foot and we're not scoring enough goals. You're doing that, you're not going to win anything, pal.
Yeah, but in saying that, Southside, in the last 3 games against them, we've scored 5 goals. Yeah.
Aye, listen, it's individual errors, Alex. We've just said it. You know, apart from the cup final, we never turned up really in the first half, but we could tell by the team we put out and that. But I had to see a progression, Alex. I can see a difference for this team to what Gio had. Gio wasn't getting this half this squad. You look at the squad what they've done in the league. We need to have this league consistency, but we also have to then score a lot of goals. But I think he's already alluded, he's got his eye on a new striker. So let's hope he's going to come in and he's going to be banging in goals. But we know where we need to hang me. We just need faster midfielders, mate. We need to get rid of this slow players. No, I've said to you already, see when you go into Europe and all, you look at the pace of them last night, these teams in Europe, they're all quick, fast. And we need to have players like Raskin and Cantwell. And if we look at their Michael Beale signings, then they're positive to anything that we've really signed in the past. It's time to get rid of Kamaras and Jackson, Lundstrom's and that. Too slow. No, we need quick, aggressive players. We need to be quick and fast. And I hope that's the way Michael Beale's going to go.
He's a bit iron.
When you come, Stevie?
I've just got to say, he's totally right what he's saying there, but we need a bit of iron as well. I mean, I watched a bit of inexperience there on Saturday. It was Cantwell. I mean, Celtic players running towards the halfway line, touchline at the halfway line, and Cantwell goes in with a boot and he gets a silly yellow card. I said it before a Bobby's kick. We need to be more cuter when we go to these grunts because guys like the referee, I hate saying his name, like him that refereed the game on Saturday, he's just looking for the opportunity to book anybody as it is, but you can't be inexperienced like that and just get into a tackle and get booked for next to nothing. Cantwell, that was just a wee bit of inexperience. We need to bring in some iron into Rangers. I think we're just too nice a team, too nice guys. We need a bit of iron, and it's. I know it's going to cost money to get somebody that I'm going to describe here, but we need somebody with iron that can play a game of football and all. You know.
They might have stumbled on the boys for Belgium.
Hello.
Hello, Ian, Paul. How we doing?
How's it going, buddy?
All right, mate. Nice to speak to you. What's on your mind?
What's not on my mind, to be honest with you, mate? I mean, I think Kent has to go. I think he's just had his time. He's not performing. He's not doing the way, you know. I remember the Real Madrid friendly, and they're all chanting his name, signing him up. Remember that?
No.
Aye,
they're playing the Real Madrid friendly, and all the Real Madrid fans were all shouting his name. He's just not the player he used to be.
Do you think, here's a question for you, Paul, do you think he misses the previous manager? Because arguably he's not been consistent. I mean, he had a great game against Dortmund, particularly away. You know, and he's had some flashes, but week in, week out, he's been 6 out of 10, no 8 out of 10.
Yeah, that's a very good point, because I actually was talking to my dad there, and he said the same thing with the manager. Exact same thing. He didn't have that drive, maybe, left in him.
Is it just time? Is it just time to shake hands and move on, mate?
I think it is. I think that's
I agree.
it. I think it's come to the forefront where he has to just move on, to be honest. Maybe find a different path in his career, and, you know.
I'm not going to go...
Sorry?
I'm not going to Southside with that point, because I think he agrees, but I'll go to Big Stevie and then we'll come back to you, Paul. Stevie?
Jack Kamara and Kent, for me, have they been the same players since Stevie G left, if you ask me? And that's me being honest. I don't think any of the 3 day guys have been the same players since Stevie G left. Jack Kamara and Kent. And I would honestly, I agree with the guy. I think now's the time to move the 3 on. I really do. I just think if we're... It doesn't matter how much you like these players. They're not cutting it. You've got to see it how it is. They're just not doing it. And the bottom line is, we Glasgow Rangers, man, we just need to keep moving forward here. I mean, we're not a million miles away for that lot for East End. We've seen that Saturday. It's just a bit of mindset, as like Kelly keeps talking about. And if we bring in new players, hopefully a wee bit of iron in the team, somebody that, people that you've got them beat before you get to the tunnel, a player like that, and that's happened in many occasions with all Rangers teams. You had them beat before you went out the tunnel. I know it costs money, but it's, these guys are just, they've no got it now. They're spent forces now. I know what you're going to get out of Ken. If I'm a manager, you know what he's going to do, cut and drop the shoulder, go left. You can beat them now. Ryan Jack, man, I just don't know what's happened to him. I know he had a bad injury. He's probably, people will say he's never been the same since then, but I'm going to take it back further and say,
I wouldn't blame the injury, mate. No, it's something more within himself, I think. It was within his own psyche, if that makes sense. He gets into the box and he just panics and he does the stupid decisions.
You talking about Ryan Kent? Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I am, sir.
His decision making's poor. Stevie, back in you come.
I was just going to say to Paul, I like his accent. Whereabouts are you from, Paul?
I'm in Newry in Northern Ireland.
Really?
I was talking to you like about a year ago or so, after they actually beat Celtic. That was a long time ago.
Newry Bandit territory.
Newry Bandits, aye, in the border.
Well done, mate. Well done to you. It must be hard being a Glasgow Rangers fan when about that area.
Oh, it is, yeah, especially the name Murphy as well. You can go under the radar, you know what I mean?
Well, anyway, listen, I totally agree with you. I think Kent's a spent force now, mate, and I think it's time we moved him on. See, even if we don't get nothing for him, look at the wages it's freeing up. What's showing 28, 30 grand a week? It's time. It definitely is. But no more time for sentiment, and hopefully this guy does it now. All these guys, unfortunately, Stevie Davis, Ryan Jack, all these boys, Scotty Arfield, McGregor, we've showed them a bit of loyalty and it's no come off. It's not. No,
it's not. No. Look at that Japanese striker. He's amazing. I have to put my hands down to him. Wow, what a player.
He's a finisher, mate. He's a finisher. I was just in a message for Fox Southside. He's worried about this show. We've got a Murphy and a Kelly on it.
Oh, no.
Especially new ones telling us that he's out.
I'll get back to as quick as I possibly can.
Certainly now when he's seen that other big guy close to sit, he's a good player.
Just hang up. Want to hear more options?
Foxes. What's happening?
I just think, sorry, just a bit of a delay on this here, but I just think Rangers, they always just what I would call calf. They're always calfing to meet Celtic. That's as ever the Northern Irish sort of thing, but they never stepped up to the mark. They never do, they don't have the fight that they used to have. You know what I mean? You just know what's going to happen. Celtic's going to beat us. You know what I mean?
If I take the last two league games, I accept they deserve to get beat in the cup final. The last two league games, Southside, if you score 4 goals, 2 in each game, you should be at least winning one of the games.
Aye. I think that's if you look at the 2 league games and you're really using this squad that he's got to use. I mean, I know we've got to judge him harshly because these are the big games and he's been judged on them. But to be honest, I still think we can still beat them in the semi-final. It's a 1-half game. I hope he picks different players that he picked on for the last game. I hope he puts them on the park. And I believe he knows now how to shut them down. I think we can see that. But once we shut them down, I don't like talking about how we've got to go and shut them down. It should be us going out and attacking them worrying about us.
Exactly.
But we've got to,
point, yeah.
It is about us. And we've got to have a game plan about when we've got that ball, how we're going to execute it to get it up the other end of the park, get the chances, get the goals. Listen, Paul, see if Alfie scores on Saturday, with the one chance, the best chance in the whole game, the easiest chance probably in the whole game. He hits the back of the net.
That was an absolute travesty, that there, to be honest with you. That was a perfectly good goal. He was actually...
No, I don't mean that one. I mean the second half, sorry. See the second half.
Okay.
Sorry, it was my fault. See in the second half, the one chance he had when it broke to him and he hits it right at the goalkeeper.
Oh, yes.
Goals change games, and that could have been the game changer for us. And we might not be talking about that we gave away crazy goals. There's no much in it in the league. There's no much in it in the league, in my opinion. And I think still with this squad can still beat them. But next year, I think the squad he builds will beat them.
So let's bring David Corby in. David Corby, you're the manager. Who's your first signing going to be? What position are you going for?
Well, it's got to be a striker. Definitely. It's got to be 2 strikers. And also, it's got to be a right back. We need another right back in that defence. Because at the moment, our defence is shocking. And the 3 games I've seen at Ibrox, some of the defending's been shocking.
What are you pointing out? Who, Davis?
Davis one of the callers.
He's one of them. Called him out.
Listen, I think we've got ourselves in a situation here, and I don't know what you think. Go to Southside then, Stevie. Goalkeeper. We've ended up we're going to have to send a goalkeeper as a priority.
Priority as a goalkeeper.
So. Sorry, I don't mean to cut across these guys, but I mean, at the end of the day, I think he's one of the most incredible goalkeepers for his age. His reactions are still there. We don't need a goalkeeper. It's more about I don't know, the cohesion in the back 4 or 5 where we're playing. Just a bit more.
Paul, when the season starts, the goal's going to be 6 months. Alan McGregor's going to be nearly 6 months older. Sands of the time, wait for no man. Let Southside come in and we'll bring you back in, Paul. Southside then, Stevie.
Alan McGregor's been a wonderful servant. He's probably the best goalkeeper still in the Premier League, believe it or not, in Scotland. But he will have to go. We need a goalkeeper that will probably come in and save us. Maybe I expect, if you think back to goalkeepers, they can normally get you 69 to 10 points a season with their saves in big games. You got to park, you win 1 or 2-0, and the goals stick up with right good saves. That gets you the points. So I like to look at that. We need a goalkeeper, mate, who comes and takes crosses, big, commanding, no scared, and probably we've been probably blessed that long with good goalkeepers, good shot stoppers and all that. But we just need a goalkeeper that probably can play a bit with his feet, would probably help. But first and foremost, needs to be a goalkeeper, command his box, and probably have to come out and get cross balls. That's where we lack in our defence. Our 2 centre-backs don't command our area. They're no great in the air, and they don't bully forwards. So that's where we're weak in defence, I think. And if your goalkeeper's not coming for the cross balls, then we've seen that we get ourselves in trouble. So I think it's imperative that we go out and get a right good goalkeeper.
Stevie?
I'm going to be honest. I've got to be brutally honest. His time was up last year, never mind this year. The goal against Hearts that he dropped, and they got a draw, and then Ross County in the 90-odd minute. He cost us the league last year in my book. He's been a great servant, one of the best stoppers you'll see out there. And what else can you say about Alan McGregor?
No, I mean, I totally get where you're coming from, but I mean, this is Scottish League we're talking about here. I mean, if he's just do what this saves this season has been absolutely phenomenal. And I mean, this top drawer. That's what you want from a goalkeeper. You want somebody who's shouting, he's roaring, he's getting the team, together. That's what you want. You don't want to lose that.
Listen, I agree. When he's not took his medication, he's off his nut. He's mate, we've got to be honest. Last year, he cost us a few points last year. Although he'll pull off a wonderful save here and there, I think it's time now for change, mate. I really do. I think he served his course, and I think it's time we part company and move on. That's just one man's opinion.
Let's bring in
everyone's giving an opinion like assholes, aren't they?
Paul, let's wait till you hear your name, mate. Bridgeman, in you come.
I'm quite enjoying the arguments and to and fro's. I think Mr. McGregor, we've said it earlier in the season, think this should probably will be his last season for Rangers. He may keep him on for coaching purposes, and I wouldn't be surprised at that, or maybe even for late stand-ins just in case. But I wouldn't balk at him and getting out of that contract. But please, Rangers, we need a first-team goalkeeper. Wherever we get it, out of our ranks of the youngsters at the training camp, up there, if we've got somebody that's good, somebody you need a goalkeeper that's going to be 6'5". Seriously, 6'5", 6'6". That's what you're needing, and they've got to go and get out and can handle himself. It's going to have to happen. We need one. Maybe if they go and spend a couple of million, I don't know. Let's hope we do it.
But I mean, can I just ask the question? What's he done wrong? What's he done wrong?
I'm trying to think back in the games this season. I mean, most of the games he's done been comfortable. All right, he wasn't great at Murrable with the goals we lost, was he?
I mean, overall, throughout the whole season, it's very hard for goalkeepers to keep, their mentality and whatever, because it's out of the game for so long. But he hasn't done much wrong. He's pulled off some of the best saves that I've seen in many a year. He's very astute when it comes to watching the ball in the air. He's very good, I'd say. I mean, for his age, he's a proper Rangers holster. You know what I mean? He's all about Rangers. That's what I love about him.
Aye, he is. But so's the other guys. Ryan Jack's a blue nose. Stephen Davis is a blue nose. Scotty Arfield's a blue nose. But Southside, I think it's time.
Aye, it is time. See, at the end of the day, many goalkeepers around the world are 42 years of age playing first-team football.
It's passion for you, isn't it?
Passion's one thing. I agree, right? I agree that he has been a wonderful goalkeeper, but we've got to move on. And it's like you say, I've seen him do this and I've seen him do that. I seen Alfredo Morelos 2 years ago score some wonderful goals and all, but he's not doing it now. And McGregor sometimes doesn't come off his line, and he's not get the reactions probably that he once did. And probably it will be the right time for him to move on. And that's just what happens, mate. They'll all move on in time, the goalkeepers, and we'll need to look for another one, and we'll hope he'll become a hero.
Does anyone come back in the youth ranks? Sorry, it was the wife just coming home there. Anyone in the youth? I'm sorry.
Oh, McCrory.
Youth ranks. I do apologise.
We've heard a lot of things about McCrory, but we don't know how good he is. Consistently. We might see him between now and the end of the season. Stevie?
Well, the only thing I've seen him really is come on that game, Big Hollander scored the heater against them, and the boy McCrory had a good game that day. He was flung right in the deep end, and to me, he had a great game, to be honest. He made a few good saves. But as far as coming in and taking the baton, we need to win this. Cheer, guys. The thoughts are maybe. And for me, McCrory, I wouldn't take a punt on McCrory. I'd be signing a new goalkeeper. I really would. I'd be signing.
Really, yeah. Okay.
Well, I thought he'd gone actually, but I forgot he's still sitting at AK. And you come, mate. Sorry, I forgot you were sitting there.
I was sitting here quietly behaving myself for a change. No, we're talking. I know. Listen, we're talking about McGregor, but for me, it's just another sad indication of where the club is. To go and get him at the age that we got him at, I don't think that would have happened if we hadn't been in the position where we were. What did he come age-wise? 35? I think we were releasing Andy Gorham when he was 32. And we've done our good 5-6 years out of him, but we really need to be cutting it short. By the way, that last game...
Sorry, I don't mean to cut across, but I'm sorry.
Paul,
I'm
let us finish, please. Paul, let us finish, please.
Oh, Paul,
sorry.
Let the guy finish, yeah?
I do apologise.
No bother. No, Big Stevie mentioned again there with young McCrory. Young McCrory, probably should have had his chance by now, because at the start of the season we were it looked as if we were phasing out. In fact, a few of us were actually shocked that he actually got another contract. But that last game McCrory played in was the last game that we actually beat Celtic in. That's when Stephen Gerrard was still our manager, and a lot of players were doing with the the COVID situation. But that's what 20 months ago now. Is that no alarm bells?
I mean, his brother plays done goal, never lost a goal, mate.
That's right. That's fact. Aye, that's fact. But it's just a sad indication of where we are as a club. We need to, but the alarm bells as well. All the guys you've mentioned that is blue noises in the team. How do we replace the guys in that dressing room, Marks? That's another head scratcher for the manager, isn't it?
It's happened before. You talked about when Gorham left. When Gorham left, when Advocate came in, mate, remember McCoy and Gerrard walked out the door and all. You know, and it's happened.
You had Barry Ferguson there, though, and Ian Ferguson there still.
Aye, but it's time for new heroes, mate. I think that's the point. It's
yeah.
Southside time for new heroes, isn't it?
100%. Like Alex, you've spoke about it. The squad's underachieved. We still talk about our captain, and if you get 2 trophies and probably a Petrofat Cup or something, do you know what I mean? Whatever it was called. You know, it's about getting the new heroes. Michael Beale has to become a hero. He has to start winning things at Glasgow Rangers. That's why he's here, and he can't go with this squad. He came back probably thinking, aye, there might be something there I can work with, and then I think he realised. But he's talked every one of them up because he needs a performance out of them. But he's made it clear, I know who now is leaving in the lobby tilt when the time comes. I just hope that all the signings he brings in, some might be a wee bit younger. I hope he gets maybe one's about 24, 25, and we might get one about 27, 28-ish. But as long as they're in and they want to come in here, play at Glasgow Rangers, I mean, look at the thing they're going to get to come play at our club. But I hope they come and they want to be winners, and then they learn how to play at our club. And once they start winning, you get that bug. That's time for all our new heroes to start taking place. And all the guys that have been moved, I thank every one of them for what they did at Glasgow Rangers all of their time. And I know I'm not interested in Kent and Alfie, but I thank them for their time and all, and every one of them. But we need new heroes going forward, 100%.
AK, can I put you on the spot, mate? Ask you a question.
Don't make it too hard.
Would you, if you had the choice, would John Lundstrom be with us next season?
No, I would cut him loose. He was excellent for us last season. This season, not good enough. We need to start being ruthless with these players, and there's no room for sentiment at our club. Never has been. It's crept into the club, so we've got to start getting ruthless with these players now. And that's my opinion on that one. We need winners, basically. That's what I'm saying.
I think that's a bit harsh on Lundstrom, to be honest.
It's just been announced officially.
My opinion, Paul.
It's just been announced.
Yeah, I'm just explaining that's my opinion too.
Paul.
Of course.
Right, it's just been
no problem.
I think he fights for the club. He fights for the bars. You can see him. He runs about the pitch. He never stops running.
It's just been announced officially that Ross Wilson has left the club, mate. I just
Yay!
The club statement's broke tonight.
Do we get compensation for that? Do you know?
Yes. Yes, you do.
Yeah. Oh, well, that's good.
Yeah. All right, so there you go. We know what you'll be doing after the show, AK.
I'll put the bunting out when Robertson goes and all.
Don't be Stevie, we know what he'll be doing after the show.
Oh, the party.
You know,
well said.
It's official.
I know Dan Colby. We will be.
I don't get upset or too enamoured. For me, it's players, you know. People will point at his recruitment. We'll never know the full story. Watch this space now. Things can start moving fast Southside.
Aye, I think the next one, I've told you, I think Mr. Robertson will probably go before the start of next season. So we'll see. Watch this space.
If I was a betting man, I would maybe say May.
May, aye. But I've flung out 2 names, so we'll see. But either or, do you know what? It's positive, right? He's gone. We'll get. I think sides of the club and what the structure is and what you need to do. In the remit, it'll probably be a director of football of some kind. But Michael Beale's got a good knowledge of players. So at the moment, all we need to worry about is he's put a list in place and he'll probably put it to the football board, as we've got at the club, we call it. So as long as the deals are getting done or in place, or we've spoke to players, and it doesn't matter if Ross Wilson leaves or no, as long as these 5 players or 6 players that he wants get done and come into Glasgow Rangers, then that's him, got his players, and it's down to him to make sure that we start winning trophies. But like you say, mate, you said about John Lundstrom, right? I know what you're talking about, but see, John Lundstrom, you look at the European football, it's getting played now. We want to go into a Champions League, right? We can win in Scotland, but when you go into Champions League, we don't want to be going and getting humiliated, and teams will pass around John Lundstrom in Europe, mate. I want players maybe of his size and stature, but I want them to be able to run. You know, he'll get passed around, so would Ryan Jack. Don't have pace for it in Europe. If you watch the Champions League, you know, even the Europa League, you look at the teams, they're all fast, quick, moving players. John Lundstrom doesn't come into that equation for us, mate.
Is that ship sailed, Stevie?
Aye, mate. Aye.
Oh, sorry, Stevie.
Ship sailed for me, mate. 100%. I mean, there was an old woman with a pram past him one of the games, you know. I just think we need pace, mate. We need pace. We need guys that see these guys that you only get one half out of. We can't afford that anymore. We've got to have guys that's got to run for that jersey for 90 minutes. I mean, we all know John Lundstrom's only giving you 60, 70 minutes a game, and and then he's breathing through his end. For me, he's got to go. He's one of the guys that's peaked. He's done well for us. They run up in the Europa League, go to the final. He's peaked, and for me, I just think his time's now. We need better. We need quicker. We need faster. All right, there's a few games where he gets in a few meaty challenges and that, but we need that every game. We can't have guys having one good game in 3. And no disrespect to anybody that's on this panel or anybody, any of the callers. Me and Southside watch this draw sometimes week in, week out, home and away. And sometimes you only see what's on the telly. We see what's happening after the ball. And by the way, honestly, it's some of it you're like, my God, man, slap the boards and get him off. You know, and for me, he's got to go. The ship sailed, well sailed. We need a clear. I think about 9 players I had, maybe possibly 10, that I think we need to free up wages, and the amount of money that would free up wages is frightening alone.
Albert's been working on his list to get new cranes there. Bridgeman, yes or no for you?
For John Lundstrom, definitely not. No for me.
All right, okay. Over and run for giving law. AK, are you going to be selling your posters?
They're already in the bin along with Ross Wilson's.
Oh, that must be some poster calling you wrong, Ross Wilson. Oh dear.
That was my dartboard, actually, no my poster.
Dave, mate, thanks for calling, mate. Great to hear from you as always, mate.
Yeah, it's great to hear from you and all that. I wish you all the best for this season, for the season we've got left. And we're going to keep supporting the Rangers and keep supporting them always. Whatever, lose, win or draw, we all follow Rangers, whatever.
Yeah. Listen, mate, Fox has been married 6 times, but he's only had the one football team. Cheers, mate. AK.
Oh, thanks for taking my call again, guys. Good show, good topics as usual. Just onwards to the next game now, into it, and see where it takes us. But there's the Union Bears asked for change. We've got change, so hopefully it's good change going forward.
Yeah, I just thought, you know, one of the panellists has took out a restraining order on you, all right? Big Stevie.
Who's to go, me, Ox?
You're the only Big Stevie here.
Oh, I never heard that. I never heard that you said. First time I've shared a stage with a Kelly, and a Murphy. Just let me tell you that. I don't know where this platform's taking us these days, but Rangers for everyone, anyone. Good wee bit of news. A good wee bit of news at the fact that Ross Wilson's gone, because we're never going to get him move forward until he did go. And we're going to hear Rangers fans grumbling. Whether I think it's right or wrong's another thing, but he's away now. Great to be on the night with the Bridgeman, the legend, and Southside. Brilliant, and thanks for having us again, mate. And the boy, is it Paul Murphy for Uri, is it? Paul, you get a wee battle cry out there, pal, and it starts with N and ends with S, so just you make sure you never think they'll beat us all the time, mate. We're going through a wee bad streak, but we'll be back, mate. Bigger and stronger.
All right, you calm down. I've got my work in the morning. Southside.
It was good to be on with Big Stevie and obviously the legend, the Bridgeman. Listen, there'll be a bit of change at the club, right? So we all think it's positive. A lot of people have never questioned him, so he's gone, and we'll see if we get a new director of football. All we want is Rangers just to keep winning now. We need to get back on track on Saturday, get the 3 points in the bag, get to Aberdeen, and let's set about them, hopefully with some different strikers on the park and maybe a different midfielder in there. But yeah, we're still here. We can get a Scottish Cup final and win it, and that's where the main focus should be. And we'll see change when it comes. So thanks for having us on, mate. I appreciate it.
Cheers, mate. Bridgeman.
Oh, what can I say? Another fantastic night. I thoroughly enjoyed it. Just back to holiday, and it's woke me up a couple of times. I could just say thank you very much, Oxford, and a good shout with the techie boys in the background, and to the two guys that carried me tonight. Thank you very much. But to all the Rangers fans all over the world, in particular Rangers fans on here on Rangers Radio, this game coming up at the weekend, biggest game of the season. 3 points are required, 100%. 3 points. Keep it going for the Rangers. Everybody, keep it going.
Well, thanks to Alistair who phoned in, Dave, Paul, AK. Thanks to Fox and All School Board for doing the technicals, and of course the three legends, Southside, Bridgeman, and Big Stevie. Thanks for listening. This has been Rangers Radio. We'll be back tomorrow night between 8 and 10, talking of all things Rangers. Take it away, All School Board.
They come from all of Glasgow, they come from near and far. They come from every Highland glen, from here to Lochnacar. They sail from dear old Belfast to the bonny banks of Clyde. They gather round to Timeless Park and loudly sing with pride. Oh yes, R-E-N-G-E-N-R-N-S. In case you didn't catch it, friend, I'll set your mind at rest. Oh yes, R-E-N-G-E-N-R-N-S. The boys in blue of Ibrox, the Scotland's very best. Oh yes, R-E-N-G-E-N-R-N-S. In case you didn't catch it, friend, I'll set your mind at rest. Oh yes, R-E-N-G-E-N-R-N-S. The boys in blue of Ibrox, the Scotland's very best. There's Richie Shearer, Robin, John Craig McKinnon too. There's Baxter, Henderson, George McLean, they proudly wear the blue. There's Miller, Brandon, Wilson, what better could you want? Plus 70,000 Rangers fans that proudly sing the chant. Oh yes, R-E-N-G-E-N-R-N-S. In case you didn't catch it, friend, I've set your mind at rest. Oh yes, R-E-N-G-E-N-R-N-S. The boys in blue, the Ibrox, the Scotland's very best. Richie Shearer, Robin, John Craig McKinnon too. There's Baxter, Henderson, George McLean, they proudly wear the blue. There's Miller, Brandon, Wilson, what better could you want? Plus 70,000 Rangers fans that proudly sing this chant. Oh yes, R-E-N-G-E-N-R-N-S. In case you didn't catch your friend, I'll set your mind at rest. Oh yes, R-E-N-G-E-N-R-N-S. The boys in blue of Ibrox, the Scotland's very best.